Well, happy Saturday. This is Sherry, and I'm so glad that you have tuned in because today I am going to give you a mini tutorial on how to determine your body shape. Did you know that there are all kinds of systems for body shape? Like all kinds. You've heard apple and pear, like all kinds of fruits, banana. You've heard square and triangle, and there's like everything. But a few years ago, when I first wrote my book, a few years ago, 2010, I went to my publisher with a system that I had used all along my years of being in the fashion industry. And they said, okay, Sherry, because we're publishing a book and it has to be your own proprietary information, we need you to come up with your own names. And so it was like, oh my goodness, how do I do that? Well, after much thinking and really looking at the body shape, I determined to call it the BOD-X system. So stick with me here. It's so easy to remember. B is if you gain weight in your belly. O is if you're overly endowed. D is if you gain weight in your derriere. And X is if you're balanced. You've got a balanced body shape. All right, so I'm gonna walk you through each one of those, and I want you to think about your own body. And like I said, this is a mini tutorial, but I really think that you're gonna be able to understand this so much easier when it comes to getting dressed. And just really being aware of your body shape helps so much. And it's not like when you go to buy clothes, it says, hey, this is for a B body shape, or this is for somebody who gains in their belly, or they don't say that. So you have to be aware of what your body shape is so that when you go shopping, you know what styles work for your body shape. Now, that's going to be probably another video sometime, but I am going to give you a few tips along the way today so that when you are looking at yourself and then when you're going to be getting some new clothes, you know what to look for. All right, let's get started. So remember I said BODX, right? All right, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to stand in front of a mirror and I want you to put your hands to your side and I want you to look. Are your shoulders and hips even? Or are your shoulders wider than your hips? Do you have an indented waist? Put your hands on your waist. Just stand with your hands on your waist and say, okay, do I have a waist or don't I? All right. So then turn sideways. Look at yourself from the side. Does your belly, is it prominent? Does it stand out? Or do your hips stand out more than maybe the average body shape? You see what I mean? And then, and I would do this with maybe leggings and a t-shirt on, so you can really just see the shape of your body. And honestly, I probably could ask you one question, and by the way you answer it would determine your body shape. But you know, that wouldn't make for a very long video, would it? And it would be pretty short, but okay, I'll go ahead and ask you I'll ask you the question. So where do you gain your weight? Where is the primary place that you gain your weight? If you said belly, you're probably a B body shape. If you said, I gain in my upper body and my bust line, and I'm not talking about you gals who like paid for your bust line, you know what I mean? So I'm not talking overly endowed that way. I'm talking about somebody who really gains in their bust line, and typically when they gain in their bust line, they also gain in the upper midriff area. You would be an O body shape. And if you say hips and thighs, then you're probably a D body shape. And if you did this, like, just don't gain a lot of weight, well, good for you. We're happy for you. But you might have said like, oh, I don't know, I don't gain a lot of weight. Or you might have said like, oh, I gain everywhere evenly all over. Then you might be an X body shape or a curvy X body shape. An X body shape is balanced. Shoulders and hips pretty much line up. You have an indented waist and you have an even gain. When you gain evenly, or when you gain weight, you gain evenly all over. Now, a curvy X is somebody who is more prominent in the bust area, the hip area, but has a very well-defined waist. And so you're a curvy gal, so you would be still an X, but you're a curvy X, all right? Now, here's the thing. When you are dressing for your body shape, you want to dress for the prominent place on your body. All right, so even if you're a curvy X, do know that if your hips seem to be more prominent, then you want to consider yourself, you know, a little bit more in the D category, that derriere, and use those tips for dressing. Okay, so I'm going to walk us through each one and just kind of get a good idea. So a B body shape, if you're looking in the mirror, full length mirror at yourself, your shoulders and your hips are balanced, all right? Pretty much straight up and down. You don't have a very indented waist because you gain your weight in your belly. Typically, a B body shape has really nice legs, average legs, good legs, not like super skinny, not like, you know, full at all, just nice legs. And typically, shoulders are prominent, and so a stronger shoulder line. You are likely a B body shape, all right? Also, B body shapes, if I turn you around, you might, for the majority of you, have a flat derriere. I said flat, F-L-A-T, all right? Flat derriere. And it could be a little bit wider, but it's not out. You see what I mean? Still lining up straight with your shoulders, but it's just a flatter, it appears flatter derriere. All right, so that's a B body shape. If you're a B body shape, just a couple of tips for you. V-necks are great because what they do, I'm going to make this into a V-neck. What happens here, if you have a B body shape, we want to always bring the attention to the face. Did you see what just happened when I did this? Here, this is making this prominent out to the shoulder line, but the minute I do this, all of a sudden, it narrows the upper body and makes you look thinner. How about that? All right, another thing is, belts I would be aware of. Aware of them. Like be careful, don't wear them too much, because if you put a belt around your belly and you gain in your belly, well, that's basically like accessorizing or dressing up the fluff. And we don't want you to do that. All right, so be careful with that. Now, can you do a front tuck? Sure. Can you do a side tuck? Absolutely. But just be careful in bringing any attention below the waist. You really want that eye to come upward. Bottoms, you can pretty much wear any style pant or skirt that you want. Honestly, you can. It's all up here that's most important with you. Make sure you have a good bra, good undergarments, right? Make sure that you're well lifted, and anytime you can bring that eye to the middle, whether it's with a V-neck or a longer necklace or a scarf, or if you've got a column dressing is super great for somebody who gains in their belly. Column basically means when you wear the same color top and bottom. And so you can create a column of color by let's say you have on a pair of dark blue jeans, and then you have on a blue top, and then that's creating your column of color, right? But then if you put a layering piece on that's another color, a different color, as long as it doesn't sit out here, but closes to about here, you're in good shape. All right, so the minute you go wide like this, it's going to appear wider. So we want the entrance of the top to come close. All right, I usually say like 2.5 to 3 inches. All right, makes a huge difference. I just thought about something. When you have a top or a jacket on, you know I said to make sure that it is longer than your belly, right? But also make sure that it kind of flows a little away from your belly. You don't want something so snug that when somebody looks at you, they're drawn right to your belly because your shirt's too tight. So you want it to sway a little bit away from the body. Also, a really great length always, whether it's jackets, whether it's tops, is to make sure that it can either be at fingertip, so if you're standing straight, at fingertip length, or you cup your hands and it falls right under. I don't know if you noticed this last week on my video that I did on the graphic tees. There was a place at the end when I was showing you a cardigan that I had on, and I actually put my hand to the side. I'm so used to being a teacher, like teaching you, that I was teaching and I wasn't even talking about that in the video. And after I watched it, I was like, why did you do that? It looked so silly. But I actually was showing you like the length if it's at your fingertip, and then I cupped my hand, so if you had like a blazer on, it sort of falls right in your pocket, like in your cup of your hand, and it's just a great length. So that's for anybody, whether you gain in your belly or not. But those are some tips for a B body shape. Just remember, this is a mini course today, just a mini lesson. O body shapes, the most important thing for you is that we address this upper area. So what that means, you have to have a good bra. Just like I told the B body shapes, you have to have a good support bra. All right, so in wearing a good support bra, we also want to make sure that the top also falls a little away from your belly, especially if you gain in the belly. And so a lot of the tips that I just gave the B body shape work for you as well. Now, if you have a super full bosom and you don't want to show cleavage, then just be careful of getting a V-neck, because a V-neck might go low. And if you want to show your cleavage, show your cleavage. I don't like it when anybody shows their cleavage, but it's a personal decision. But I will say that if you want to wear a cami under, that sort of buffers that. All right. But just make sure that your tops, again, maybe flow a little away from the body. However, if you are if you're a curvy X and you've got a big bust line and larger hips, but you have a smaller waist, then you can definitely wear a tighter fitting top, and the kind that a crossover top is beautiful on you. But I do want to make you aware that a pattern on top will minimize your bust line. It just does. If you have a solid top on, there's only two places for the eye to go. Boom, boom, right? But if you have a pattern on, it allows the eye of the onlooker to wander instead of focusing right on your bust line. And so patterns are super great for you. And then again, if you have a fuller belly as well as the fuller bust, then just make sure that your tops are longer than the fullest part of your belly. And you want to make sure that that it's not snug on there, because we don't want the eye of the onlooker to go, boobs, belly up. You see what I mean? Now, V-necks are great. V-necks are great for the B body shape. V-necks are great for the O body shape as well. But you can also do a lower scoop. It looks great on you too. As far as bottoms, O body shapes, you typically have great legs, like rock star legs. And so show off your legs. Wear shorter skirts. Wear skinny jeans, but just be careful if you're going to wear skinny jeans, because I don't want you to look top heavy and then, tiny legs, right? I would caution you and give you a style tip that may try to balance your upper body. And the way that you would do that is by a wedge sandal, maybe tall boots, maybe ankle boots that have a chunkier heel. You don't want to wear, if you've got a fuller upper body, just be careful wearing real tiny heels, skinny heels, because it's going to make you kind of look off balance. You also look great when you've got a wide cuff at the bottom of your jeans. Great look for you. Again, it allows balance for you. Now, I do want to caution you that if you were to wear a wider leg jean, or wider, a flare like a palazzo pant or something, then it's not the best for you, because if you're fuller on top and then you wear fuller on the body, on the bottom, it's just going to make you look like walking fabric, and we don't want that. All right. So just like a straight leg pant is beautiful. You can also balance your upper body by wearing patterned pants. So now I wouldn't wear a patterned top and patterned pants. That's not going to come out right. But if you wore patterned pants and then you wore a, maybe layered. So you wore a swing jacket. A swing jacket is just something that has a little fullness around the bottom. So you could do that if you wore a kimono over. So you're wearing really solids up top, maybe 2 different colors, because again, the column of color for an O body shape is also best if the color happens on the inside. Then your kimono would be a different color than the 2 pieces under here. But if you're doing I guess it'd be hard to do a column of color. How would you do a column of color? You would do a column of color if you were wearing patterned pants. Let's say you were wearing leopard jeans. The background color, whatever the background color is of the pattern, okay, instead of saying leopard, let's do like black pants with maybe a white check in them. Let's go there. Then the background color of that is the black, right? And so then you would wear a black top. If the background color of the pant were white and the check was black, then you do a white top. All right, so whatever the background color of the pattern is what will create the column when you wear the solid top on top. Now let's move to our D body shapes. So with D body shape, you are the gals who stand in front of your mirror. Your shoulders are typically a little more narrow than your bottom half. And then your bottom half comes out, or it may come out in hips, or it may come out in booty in the back. So there are 2 types of D body shapes. And so they both of the things that I'm going to talk about, like the rules for you, are the same. So whether you're hippie or whether you're booty, right? So one way or the other. But remember when I was talking about a column of color? So your column of color, by the way, you guys have great waists usually. And so you're just, usually a fuller thigh as well. And so you want to make sure your column of color happens with the outside pieces. All right, so let me give you an example. You could put on a red top, all right, and black pants, and I'm giving you simple equation here. Black pants, red top, because we want the color to come near your face, all right, black layering piece, because you want to know on your body where the fullest part of your legs come out on the side, or your hips. So you want to know when you look into a mirror, really determine, all right, pinpoint that spot, okay? Right here, bam, that's the fullest part of your legs. So it would be great if your top or your jacket could either be a little above that or a little below it. However, if you have the same color jacket on, or kimono or layering piece, as you do on the bottom, then there's no breaking point. So the eye of the onlooker, you just look thin. And then the eye goes directly up to your face because you've got the red top on. You can also wear great belts because you have smaller waists. And so just be careful when it comes to necklines. Don't wear V-necks, because if you wear a V-neck, unfortunately, the eye of the onlooker, it makes this whole upper body look smaller, and then the eye goes downward to the hips. We want to create more of we can do a boat neck, you can do a scoop, you can even do, just like even a neck up to here, like a crew neck, anything to create balance, because we're balancing the hips. So you could even do a horizontal stripes on top, believe it or not, yes, horizontal stripes on top, because you're balancing your body. Now, you also might need shoulder pads. I know. Can you even believe it? They are back. And actually, they're actually a big trend this season. But if you look in the mirror and your shoulders really are much slimmer than your bottom, then put some shoulder pads on, because what that does is all of a sudden it balances your upper body. It's amazing, really amazing. All right, so that, well, I guess what, I haven't talked to you about the bottoms. So bottoms for you is a flare leg does wonders for you because that flare at the bottom actually balances your hips. So be super careful with skinny jeans if you have a D body shape. If you have a D body shape, and I'm not talking a slight D, so let's put things in perspective. I'm talking a D body shape that is your hips are prominent, your booty is prominent, and you want to minimize it. Now, so hear me out. I think sometimes I'll ask for volunteers to come on the stage when I'm speaking, and somebody will come up and I'll say, you gain in your hips and thighs, and I'm like, where are your hips and thighs? You belong in timeout because like you don't have any. Same happens when you gain in your belly, and it's like you look like you run 10 miles a day, like you don't have a belly. Now, I get that you may think you gain there. Just know that the public doesn't know that you gain there. And so, yes, use the tips I'm giving you, but don't like go, oh my gosh, I gotta go like crazy on this because you're probably closer to an X body shape if you just have a little bit of an area on your body that gains, a few extra pounds. Address that area. If there are certain times of the month that it's more prominent, absolutely. But for the most part, if that's you and that you just have a little bit of hip or a little bit of belly, you're probably in the last category, which is the X body shape. X body shape is what we all strive to be. And the tips that I'm teaching you is if you dress with the way that I'm talking about right now, you'll look like an X, even if you're not. And so just know that an X body shape has the shoulders and hips that are balanced, just like the B, right? Except that where a B doesn't have an indented waist, you do. And where B gains in her belly, you don't. Where a D gains in their hips and thighs, you don't. Again, remember, you might have a little bit when you gain weight, you gain in either of the one of those. And so maybe occasionally you need to dress to help that area for whatever. Maybe you gain 5 pounds or 10 pounds or something. But for the most part, you are somebody who really does have a balanced figure. Now, you can use all the tips. You can do the inner and the outer column. Just the most important thing I would say for you, make sure that you have proper undergarments on and make sure that your clothes fit you well. And this is really for anybody. Sometimes I think most of us need to go up a size to look good, but some of you need to go down a size because you're wearing clothes too oversized. So clothes should fit your body. There shouldn't be a lot of excess fabric, and there shouldn't be too snug where we're seeing more skin than we are seeing, cute clothes on you. I hope that is just a little insight, a little help into body shape. I know sometimes people think, oh, I got to measure, and you can measure, and there's all kinds of things, but honestly, don't overthink this. Think about where is it that you gain the most amount of weight, and then dress that part of your body. Dress that part to hide that area, for that challenge area, to bring out the rest of you. And just like I said to the X's, color is super important. Make sure you know what colors look good on you. Build your wardrobe around that. But when it comes to your body shape, your body is beautiful. You can be a size 0 B body shape, and you can be a size 30 B body shape. You see what I mean? It's all in between. But wear the clothes that fit, and wear your column of color, wear the neckline that works for you. X's, you can do either. But just know that the goal in dressing is to look like an X, right? Even if you're not, because it's not that we're looking at your body. The goal is to look up at your beautiful face when you get dressed. So that's why it's important to understand your challenge areas so you can hide those. Hide, that's probably not the word. So you can dress to those challenge areas so your best features come out. I hope that was helpful. I get a lot of questions on body shape. And if you have more questions, go ahead and put them in the comments and I will answer those. And girlfriend, if you don't have your closet outfit planner yet, I have to throw that in there because it's the fall winter planner. You gotta get it. It's so amazing. It's so amazing. So until next week, I hope you have a great week. All right, see you then. Bye.